Is it possible that men, I'm gonna say straight men, and straight women can be platonic friends?
I went on my first Hinge date in London yesterday. I think this is the first time I've been rejected, at least in this way. He was actually like really cute, super tall, my type. I thought it was like going well. Like he wasn't super funny, but it was fine. Then he wasn't asking if I wanted another drink. It was getting kind of awkward. So then I asked, I was like, oh, should we get another drink or do you have to leave? He looks down at his phone and he goes, yeah, actually, I'm gonna go meet my friends. I was in shock, like, wait, sorry, what? How am I meant to go on dates now? And I realized there's a possibility that they actually might not like me, which I've never even considered before. Awkward goodbye. I get home and he's texted me, if you're gonna reject me, don't text me after. Like, what? I also got shot on by a bird last week, so I was like, oh my god, is this my good luck that I finally meet a cute guy? No, then I get rejected.
And of course, there are women in the comments talking about you're still a 10. While that may be true, he doesn't want you. Bars.
Y'all, I have noticed something when I go out now. And I live in Houston, by the way. I have noticed that dudes out here do not approach women in the club. Well, I wouldn't even say the club because I don't go to clubs, but like lounges or like speakeasies or anything like that. I'd be like, do y'all want somebody to approach y'all? Because I'll be damned. I'm sorry. And I'm not approaching no man. I mean, I have a fork, but I'm not doing it. Baby, you gotta show some type of interest. Like you like, baby, we done locked the minds. That mean that's your go time. Come on, green light, go. But like, other than that, like y'all don't do nothing. I be looking at y'all like, who the fuck y'all think is gonna come up here talking to y'all? Like, I'm sorry, like, I don't know if y'all be feeling like y'all that not respected, but like, I ain't doing all that. I ain't doing all that. I'm sorry. Like, men are like supposed to, you know. It ain't nothing wrong if a woman do, but like men are really supposed to, you know, be trying to holler at that. You is tripping. Tripping.
Silly file walking down the street. I'm not even going to say hot take because I know it's not a hot take. What the hell is going on with 2025 dating? My biggest gripe, the men are not approaching. They're not approaching. They're just keeping to themselves. Maybe we'll give you one look, but barely even that. Nobody's approaching, okay? And I'm going out of my way. I'll have a little smile, keep feet pointed out. I'm open. I'm ready to accept. Does not work. Does not work. And the dating apps, that's a no for me. That is a no. So, is there something else?
Men aren't approaching women anymore. Not because they're mama's boys, not because they're man-child or scared or whatever it is you call them these days. You know why? Because one wrong word and they're labeled creeps. One compliment and it's harassment. One traditional gestures and they're called sexists. So they've learned to leave you alone. Then you wonder why chivalry is dead, why dating apps are the only option. Congratulations, women. We've played ourselves.
Dating advice for any man who's dating a woman over 40, especially a single parent. We are so tired of making every decision in our life. Okay? We decide everything about ourselves, our families, our kids, our homes, our career, everything. It's like we don't ever get a moment to step back and just let someone else take control or like not have to think for a moment. So if you choose a restaurant or even just give me options or you make the plan and you put the effort in, you guys, it goes such a long way. It's so nice to just be the passenger princess in life for just even an hour.
A dude in the comments said, get lost. I plan every date I go on. Women don't appreciate it anyway.
There's still a debate going on, showing up in my FYP about men approaching women and women saying men don't approach us anymore. And I'm going to speak as a male. I would never, in today's environment, approach a woman in public at all for anything. I'll look the other way. I was just at the grocery store today. Plenty of females were there. I'm a single guy, no wedding ring. I'm not approaching anybody. In fact, I'll avoid some aisles. I went down the one aisle. I saw a bunch of women down there. I turned around and went down to another aisle. I don't want to be perceived in any way, shape, or form as the creeper. And women made it that way. And with all this proliferation of social media and then TikToks about it. I don't want to be that guy. So I avoid women at all costs in public spaces.
Our generation is genuinely so paranoid of men. We're literally so paranoid that we have groups dedicated for women to find cheaters, exposing men who are there just to use you. It genuinely sucks. Every time that I meet a new man, I have to suss out, oh, is he loyal or just lustful? Is he here just to use me for his ego trip or actually here to build something with me? And if they tell you, oh, I'm being intentional, now you're watching his every move to make sure that he's saying what he means or that he's not lying to himself. Dating now is never just, oh, do we like each other? We're literally in fight or flight mode, survival mode all the time. And even if it becomes steady, you're just waiting for the downfall because you've seen the pattern way too many times. Can't even enjoy the honeymoon phase because you're waiting when he'll show his true colors. And before all the comments saying, just stop dating, da-da-da. But I know some of us are still out here trying to find someone to share life with. So it becomes a push and pull. Heart believes, but brain is exhausted. It's genuinely so sad to see us treat love like it's a scam. Like something that we have to outsmart. But I know that we can't help it because we know that men will ruin whatever peace we have left. Anyway, this is my bouquet. Let me know what you guys think.
Women, we have been shouting all across TikToks like, we don't mind y'all approaching us, but come with some respect. Y'all like this one-sided respect where y'all don't know how to get respect. You don't know how to be a gentleman. Y'all are creeps. Y'all will walk past a girl in the club, rub your meat against her booty, and oh, excuse me, knowing damn well you ain't have to do all that. Sir, all I said was, if you approach women, come gentlemen. Hey, how you doing? Can I talk to you? Can I get to know you? And also understand if she says no, okay, cool. Have a good day. You are so entitled that y'all don't respect the no. A girl gonna post today talking about how she told a dude, hey, I got a boyfriend. He gonna say, what's his name? What's his name? Baby. Y'all, I work for a major airline. That's just like when people call me talking about, why did y'all cancel the flight? Baby, it don't matter. The flight will not be flown. You ain't getting flued out today. You gotta make other arrangements. Cause it don't matter. It don't matter if a bird hit it, if rain, sleet, the why don't even matter. Just know you need to be making other plans. You're spending too much time on the why. Move on.
If I pay hundreds, thousands of dollars for a flight, and you're telling me when I call you, the why doesn't matter, that's out of touch and lets me know that you have some weird warped reality of how the world actually works.
When you're hanging out with a guy and you guys are doing stuff and then you go, actually, I'm not really in the mood. I don't really feel like doing stuff right now. And the guy goes, that's fine. We can do whatever you want. We can put on TV. I totally respect that. No worries at all. Do whatever you want. And their reaction and them being so kind to you and listening when you tell them no instantly makes you go, hang on, maybe I do kind of want to. It's honestly a really sad concept, but it teaches us in that moment that the man we're talking to at least understands the concept of consent. And weirdly enough, that's kind of hard to find. All of the women I know, their love language, it's not just like acts of service, okay? It's very specifically men just treating them like human beings and valuing them and respecting their decisions and their boundaries. Like, actually, yeah, that is really sexy. You caring about me as a person? That's maybe the hottest thing ever.
I respect this, but I find that a lot of times when it's a conversation about a woman giving or pulling consent and a man respects it, oh, fantastic. But when it's a conversation around a man giving or pulling consent, then he better be so happy. He better take the opportunity. I'm going to jump on you. I'm going to pull this off of you. I'm going to take this off of you. And you better be glad I'm giving you something.
If a man don't like a woman, then he must be the G word or a narcissist. But if a woman don't like a man, she just has preferences. If a man has multiple baby mamas, he must be a deadbeat or he created a whole bunch of broken homes. But if a woman has multiple baby daddies, she hold her kids down. At least she take care of her kids and she just had a couple failed relationships. When a man tired or fed up, he just walked out on his family or he's a punk or whatever. When a woman fed up and she decides to walk out, she was saving herself. She did the right thing for herself. She was putting herself first. If a man don't got no money, he a brokey. He a broke. If a woman ain't got no money, she's just struggling, right? So men can't struggle. When a man stays home to raise his children, then he a bum. But when a woman stays home to raise her children, then she's a stay-at-home mom just raising the kids. Just a few propagandas that I will not fall for. Y'all can say what y'all want. That's just a few of the propagandas that I will never fall for.
Figured out the boyfriend equivalent of when a girl really likes you, she just puts sunscreen all over you all the time. It's them telling you to like weight lift and lift heavy all the time. Like the more serious we got, my boyfriend just kept telling me, you need to weight lift, it's good for you. And I was like, my ass is big enough and my waist is non-existent. Your greed knows no bounds. Like that's enough. But it wasn't just to, you know, make me skinny or whatever. And he just started telling me all this research about how it's important for your bone density and your joint health as you get older. And how if we're going to be like trotting around the world in our retirement, I can't be a grandma with joint problems. And it really was giving the same energy as like why we put sunscreen on our boyfriends, because we don't want them to get skin cancer and get all wrinkly. And matter of fact, in some ways it was even less vain than the reason why we put sunscreen on our boyfriends, which is cute.
A lot of times men can say something and really care, but then it's called shaming in some sort of form or fashion. But if a woman were to do the same thing, then it's okay because I care and I'm just trying to be a nurturer.
I'm telling you, that singleness only hits you at night. When you ripping and running throughout the day, when you at work, when you know, whatever extracurricular activities, when you doing hobbies, when you at the gym, you don't even care about being single. That's not even on your mind. But when you pull up to the house at night and you get in that bed alone, that's when you be like, I really wish I could cuddle up with somebody, or I really wish I could tell somebody about my day. That's it. That's when the singleness hits you like, damn, I wish I had somebody. But throughout the day, you don't even be thinking about like, oh, I wish I had somebody to, you know, talk to on my lunch break, or, you know, like, I'm not even thinking about that stuff. But at night, when I lay my head down in that empty ass bed, oh yeah, that's when I be like, dang, yeah, I wish I had a little stink.
Somebody quoted the Whitney Houston lyric, when the night falls, my loneliness calls. She said, I need somebody to love me. That's not funny. Rest in peace, Whitney.
Hey guys, I just left my coffee date. It was a first date. It was so bad to a point I didn't even finish my coffee. It was like one of the worst first dates I've ever been on. I literally had to leave after 30 minutes. It was a Hinge date, so when I first saw him in person, he didn't quite look like his pictures on his profile. So it was kind of a major red flag, but it's not the key issue here. And then after we ordered coffee, whatever, and then we sat down, and then he was like, oh, let's just skip all the small talks, you know, like, we should have like a deeper conversation. And then he started asking me a lot of questions about my previous relationships and situationships. He was like, why did your last relationship end? Do you still miss your ex? Are you still friends with them? What's your ex's name? Where does he work? Why did you guys break up? Were you the problem? And in my head, I was like, dude, we literally met for the very first time 10 minutes ago. Why are you like this? Like the entire time I just felt like I was being interrogated. And also, that's a lot of very invasive questions to my privacy. I don't know why he was curious like that. So yeah, I felt like it was really weird. So I did what I had to do. I got up and left. I told him I had to go home, take care of my cat. And I strongly believe that if you don't vibe with the person on a first date, just get up and leave. We should just normalize just leaving. When I was younger, I would like sit through a trashy date, but now I'm just like, I ain't got time for that. Like, you know, I'm just gonna get up and leave.
You know, I get where you're coming from. I definitely do. But now that I think about it, he might be asking because he don't want somebody to run up on him. Like, you might be like, where's your ex work? Where does he live? Where does he stay? Because you might say something and then your ex one day pop up on y'all at a date and you're like, oh, that would be terrible, man.
I love when a man tells me what to do. When my husband tells me what to do and he puts his foot down and he's like stern and he's like, no, I love it. I don't listen, but I love it. I think it's super cute.
One thing I cannot watch on TikTok is the girls teaching other girls
never settle for less, but then they follow it up with a designer bag reveal or a dream vacation or just showing off something that their man bought them. And maybe they're doing this without realizing it, but what they are doing is they're preparing you to be dissatisfied with whatever your partner brings to the table. And by consuming these types of videos, we start learning to measure love by material things. And we turn to our own relationship and we're like, why doesn't he do elaborate Valentine's Day decorations? Or why doesn't he surprise me with luxury vacations? Why doesn't our love story look like that? But that's the problem, is these are wrong role models. And if we're not careful, we start chasing perfection instead of partnership, or materialism instead of meaning. And real relationships aren't built on those aesthetic dates or luxury shopping sprees or even the staged prank videos. That type of content is toxic because it causes you to compare. And comparison will rob the joy and connection that you have with your man faster than anything. And you know where it's gonna come out? Through how we communicate. A solid marriage is gonna thrive on mutual respect, trust, and for us women, it's understanding how to master our feminine expressiveness and communication.
And these types of women, kind of like the Wizard Liz, do this for a couple of reasons, possibly more. To attract women into their coaching program so they can make money, number one. Number two, to attract the type of man that you want. The only problem is you have to continue to keep up that persona, and sometimes it's just that, a persona. It's a facade.
Girls tell guys exactly what they want with subtle hints. Example, I have left these flowers here for 3 weeks dead. They've been here dead on the table for 3 weeks, and I've been thinking, my boyfriend passes this table 6 billion times a day. He sees this 6 billion times a day. One of these times he's gonna pass by and think, the flowers are dead, they're crumbling all over the table. I think it's probably time to replace the flowers. I was sadly mistaken, as Justin Bieber said. I was sadly mistaken. And now I have to throw these flowers away and I'm gonna probably get new ones for myself. I just feel like that was the most subtle hint I could have possibly left.
You know what your man's actually probably thinking is that you must really like those flowers because you're keeping them for a long time and he's not going to touch them because you must really like them. Or he didn't even notice the flowers were there. Now, what he might notice is an empty vase with nothing in it. Maybe a little bit of water. Maybe try that. Or maybe just tell him what you want and don't make him read your mind.
I just got asked to leave the restaurant because my children were inconveniencing some old people. I went to go take my kids out to eat by myself and their kids. Sorry, I don't give my kids iPad. We're at the restaurant trying to enjoy. They were crying, doing all the things kids do. We were sitting next to a couple, an older couple. After about a couple of minutes, they came to our table and was like, can you take your kids outside? I look up at them and I'm like, what did you just say? And she was like, can you take your kids outside? They're being really loud and it's disrupting our dinner. When I tell you, it took everything out of me not to fight this old lady. Simply said, no, I can't because I have 3 kids and I'm by myself. So she has to get over it. Am I the only one that thinks this is so rude? You're entitled to a kid-free life. You are not entitled to a kid-free world. And I stand on that. Come at me if you disagree.
So, a woman in the comments said, oh, this explains everything. Another dude said, please stop having kids until you can learn to control them at a restaurant. You know what? Honestly, I agree.
It's a little bit concerning because I keep seeing girls posting videos of guys saying, oh, can you please Venmo me for the date last night? Or can you please send me money for what we did last week? Like, please. And like these dates that they're going on where they're paying like half the bill. Like, actually, I thought that this was a joke, but it's not a joke. I don't know where you guys are finding these guys. Like, even my guy friends will pay for me. Like, my guy friends that I've been friends with for over 10 years, that there's never been anything romantic, will pay for me. Will send me an Uber. Like, I don't know. Like, when the girls go out with the guys always pay. I don't know where these guys are coming from. But, like, if you need to meet, like, quality guys, let me know. I have a lot of single friends that want to get married that will spoil you.
So I think that's the issue for a lot of men. There are women out here that expect a man, regardless of any situation, to cover them, and men are not wanting to do that anymore. I want something back in return. I want a return on my investment. And y'all act like men are the devil because they ask for this.
Hey, so this is for my single Christian brothers. The ones who may be starting to feel like, hey, maybe marriage isn't for me. You know, maybe I want to rock out this single life. I know a lot of us are so quick to quote Paul where he says it is better to be single. I'm going to share with you what Jesus has to say about that. And then let me know if you feel the same way.
So you're already starting to try to shame men for wanting to be single and not commit to all of this nonsense out here. Let's go.
Okay, so this is coming from the book of Matthew, chapter 19, verse 10, King James Version. And here we go. And his disciples say unto him, if the case of the man be so with his wife, it is not good to marry. But he said unto them, he being Jesus, verse 11, all men cannot receive this saying, save they to whom it is given. For there are some eunuchs which were so born from their mother's womb, and there are some eunuchs which were made eunuchs of men, and there be eunuchs which have made themselves eunuchs for the kingdom of heaven's sake. He that is able to receive it, let him receive it. So Jesus is basically saying, oh, you don't want to be married? So that means you want to be a eunuch. Gotta love Jesus. Okay, and so for those of you who might be wondering what a eunuch is, I just went to Microsoft Copilot, and what I see in bold print is a castrated male. And a castrated male is a man who's had his testicles removed. Okay, but furthermore, historically eunuchs served as guards and servants in harems, ensuring the safety of women in royal households, and as chamberlains to kings. So no matter how you slice it, protecting the woman is the responsibility of a man, right? But fellas, knowing this information, this is what Jesus had to say. Do you want to be a eunuch? Or do you want to go ahead and find that wife and find that good thing and receive favor from the Lord? You decide.
Well, I don't think protecting a woman and providing for a woman is most men's concern. I think their concern is protecting and providing for a woman who is contentious. She's not very fun to be around. She's not very pleasant. Let's see what the Bible talks about there. Proverbs 5 and 6, for she cares nothing about the path to life. She staggers down a crooked trail and doesn't realize it. Proverbs 7, 24 through 26, do not let your heart turn to her ways or stray into her paths. Many are the victims that she has brought down. Proverbs 21, better to live in a desert than with a quarrelsome and nagging wife. Proverbs 27, a continual dripping on a rainy day and a contentious wife are alike. Proverbs 25, better to live in a corner of the housetop than in a house shared with a quarrelsome wife. Proverbs 11, a beautiful woman who lacks discretion is like a gold ring in a pig's snout. Proverbs 5, 3 through 4, the lips of an immoral woman are as sweet as honey, and her mouth is smoother than oil. Proverbs 2, wisdom will save you also from the adulterous woman. 1 Timothy 5 and 13, if they are on the list, they will learn to be lazy and will spend their time gossiping from house to house, meddling in other people's business, and talking about things they shouldn't. Sounds like one of those are we dating the same person groups. And we all know what happened with Samson and Delilah. No need to go into that, but that's in Judges 16. In Mark 6, it talks about a woman so angry at John the Baptist that she got her daughter to ask for him to be unalived, in so many words. And we know in Genesis 39 that Joseph, while he was in prison, the daughter, I think, of the Pharaoh was trying to make him sleep with her. 1 Kings 21 talks about Jezebel. I think we all know the story behind her. She was a terrible woman. The Bible, in so many words, calls her a streetwalker. There are some other verses, but the point is, stop trying to make men feel bad for not wanting to get with terrible women.
So a couple of weeks ago, I posted a video about dating in your 40s, right? And just the other night, I was having a conversation with my mom, bringing her up to speed, like telling her that the guy I was dating, we're done. And we never got to finish the conversation. So she called me back last night to finish the conversation because she wanted to hear, like, where was I at? Am I sure? Does he know that I am done? And the answer to both of those questions is hell the fuss. See, what we not going to do is we not going to play me for a placeholder. Because, baby, I ain't one of them. I'm not no pick-me chick. Secondly, when you have had multiple opportunities to show up for me and you don't, the most recent being me graduating from college, and you couldn't take 2 hours out of your schedule for you to show up for me, and you about me graduating. Oh, I'm sorry. You about the time that I chose to do my grad walk for my degree. So yeah, that's a no for me. That was the straw on the camel's big ass back. Okay.
What time did you set it at? Because sometimes people set it at very inconvenient times. They're just like, well, I want to get it over with, or this was the only time slot, yada, yada, yada. And so people who had plans, it makes it a little bit harder for them to get there. So that might have been why he was complaining. So that makes it difficult for him to show up, especially if he has kids. I'm not sure if he has kids, but go ahead.
Prior to that was the lack of follow through on us moving in together. When the opportunity arose itself, you had a tantrum and didn't want to do it and claimed that where I live was ghetto. I live in a high end rent district. Okay. I'm not living in the ghetto. No. I worked my way up to where I am so that my daughter and I could be in a safe community that was on the better side of the DMV. And so if I'm paying high ass rent, that's just what I'm going to do. I'm going to sacrifice to do that.
So again, I understand where you're coming from, but I was just about to say, you look like you're from the DMV. And I've been through, walked through, driven through places in the DMV that look very sketchy, but they have very nice apartments. You look at the rent there, you look at the women going in there, and the woman with her child, kind of looking around. There's men and women kind of hanging around, houses that are broken down, torn down in the area. So again, maybe he has a point.
Also, the fact that I watched you want to try to get your business off the ground and go solo in as an entrepreneur in what you're doing as your career, and you lack the follow through to get shunned. And I'm sorry, but every woman out here wants a man with ambition, just like a man wants a woman with ambition. We all want someone that has goals and they know how to attain them. However, I can't want that goal more than you, boo. I'm already raising a child and trying to get her to be consistent in her own goals. And I tell her the same thing. I cannot want the goal more than you. So I'm not going to do the work if I don't see you putting in the effort. So I can continue to encourage you and all of that, but I'm not putting my sweat and tears into something that you lack the ambition to follow through. You are too scared to follow through. And there were multiple opportunities for him to do so. God opened several doors, but because it was not exactly what he wanted, he turned it away. I'm sorry, boo. You in the hallway waiting and the doors are swinging open. And I know who I am as a woman walking this earth. Anybody that's in relationship with me is going to be blessed because my prayers get answered. I got a direct line to God. Okay.
So that sounds like it's really the issue. He doesn't have what you call the follow through. He doesn't have the ambition, the drive, the hustle, the get out of the mud grind that you want him to have, which is fair. But I just feel like maybe we probably need to hear his side of the story to kind of clear a couple of things up, in my opinion. But go ahead.
So those are just a few things that make me say, yeah, we done. But for real, the lack of follow through for moving in together and the lack of empathy or congratulatory feeling that you should have for your partner for such a huge accomplishment as to graduate college. I am 48 years old. It took me 7 years with all the obstacles and tribulations that I faced just to get my degree. The enemy tried everything, and I still persevered and moved through all those struggles and forks in the road. I still did it. And that was something that you could not put your own personal feelings or personal thoughts or made it about you, that it wasn't about you, but you made it about you. You couldn't put that aside for someone you claimed you loved.
I would also ask how long you guys have been together. Maybe he could say congratulations, give you some flowers, take you out to dinner as a way to celebrate you. But if you guys just met, it might just be, hey, congratulations on that. He might not blow it up and, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to go there. Congratulations if y'all just met. That wouldn't make any sense.
So I had told myself I wasn't going to come back on here and give any additional backstory to that post that I had. It has gone viral. It has like 18,000 views. I don't know what this one gonna do, but yes, I'm fine. Look, ladies, at this big age, ain't no crying and heartbreak and all of that. At this moment where we were in that relationship, I was already kind of feeling like one foot out the door. You understand what I'm saying? I just was trying to ride it out, seeing maybe he was going to follow through. The opportunity to moving in together was the opportunity for him to follow through. That was going to let me know if, okay, maybe he's a little scared about his business venture, but he's not scared about us.
Well, maybe you guys are talking about moving in together. And I have seen a lot of people, some people that have moved in together within a month. So that's pretty quickly. But maybe the fact that you guys are talking about moving in together, maybe that means you guys have been together for at least 6 months to a year. And so he could have done a little bit more to celebrate you. I understand that from that perspective. But I think, once again, I would love to hear his perspective. Because I know for myself, you have to, when you're talking about doing entrepreneurial things, even for women, they want the support, the wholehearted support of a man. They want not only his encouragement, but they want his funds. They want his connection, networking, anything that he has to give. They want it all. And if you're just offering support and encouragement, fantastic. Oh, I ain't going to build a man. But if it were reverse, you'd expect a man to kind of throw his weight behind you, or at least some women do. I'm not saying that it's right for you to do that and give him all your stuff in 401k or something like that. So I think I just heard a story about a woman giving her 401k to a man or something like that. I'm not sure how true it is, but she gave it to her husband. Found out her husband had been sleeping with her cousin or something like that. Wild. And so she was clearly heartbroken about that, right? And as she should be. He was acting crazy. He did her wrong. I'm just saying, if it were the shoe on the other foot, that's what would be expected of men.
Yeah, no. So, ladies, again, I'm going to say set boundaries. Stand on business when it comes to your boundaries. Don't let nobody shake your tree, okay? Because when they shake your tree, they get you out of character. And when they shake your tree, they make you feel like you can't get any better than what you have. Don't let them do that, okay? And lastly, if you have a strong relationship with God, your intuition is already giving you the signs. Listen to them. Even if you don't walk away immediately, just put it in the front of your forehead and make a mental note and keep that in your vision, so that when you continue to move through the relationship, you can determine whether or not you want to stay or go. And this goes for men too. This ain't just for women. This is just my experience. So don't come in my comments with that about you just wanted somebody to take care of you. Nah, it was an equal relationship. And as a man, you are a provider. And if you can't show signs of being a provider and only needing provision, then I don't want you. This woman don't want you. There's women out there that will take you. They'll take you because you got a big old thing, and they'll take you because you got a job, and they'll take you because you got a house. And they'll also take you objectifying them, but I'm not. Okay, so this is a longer post than what I wanted. If you made it to the end, thank you. Thank you for watching.
And that's what I was saying right there. There's going to be different expectations, whether I have it at 6 o'clock in the morning or 6 o'clock at night. It doesn't matter. You, as the provider, the hunter and protector, you have to figure out how to adapt, manipulate, and shift your schedule in order to accommodate me and my child. No matter what I'm doing, if I'm trying to hustle and start a business and whatever, whatnot. Now, understand, mind you, she wants the man to move in with her. Well, I worked my way up. So I want you to come over and move with us. That man might have had a house already. You didn't say if he did or didn't, but I don't want to come into your house. I want you to come into my space. I want you to be here with me. Whatever I'm doing, wherever I am, I'm 48 years old and I've worked too hard to give this up. So maybe he's doing some stuff that as a dude, you probably need to do better at. But I would venture to say, just based on your attitude, you have a lot of tendencies that you sound like you might go back and forth. And maybe that's just frustration about the situation and you wouldn't normally act that way. But it seems like it has to be your way. You have to do it your way. You're mad about him wanting to do things exactly how he wants to do it in terms of entrepreneurship or going out and starting a business and walking through open doors, which if there are opportunities, dude, you need to take them and you need to do whatever you need to do in order to get your business off the ground, right? But if you're talking about no matter what, no matter how, no matter when, this man needs to show up for you. If it's for you, you're expecting him to protect and provide in any and every situation, regardless of how difficult it is. I think for any relationship, it's going to be hard for you to move past a certain stage, right? I'm thinking about a situation where another woman was talking about how she was with her, I think it's her ex now, and her ex had a sister. So her sister snuck out of the house, went to a party where she found herself in a compromising situation with a bunch of men. And so she told her ex's sister previously, hey, if you ever have any trouble, if you need anything, text me. I don't care what time of day or night, text me. I'm coming to get you. Woman did it, or the young lady did it. And immediately the woman said, share your location. She jumped into action, went and got the little girl, took her back over to her brother, I guess, which would be her ex's house. Okay. In that situation, right? Thank you for going and picking up the young lady. Definitely appreciate that. Right. I would love if I had a daughter, I would love for somebody to make sure that my daughter was taken care of. But this is what men talk about when they say they can't do everything. You have to help them out. I can't continue chasing you and rescuing you. And she talked about how women or people are going to make mistakes. That is very true. But if those same mistakes keep on happening, then it's going to be very hard. It's going to be very difficult because that man, that protector, that provider might be across town, and it's hard for him to get back over to where you are, and you're in a compromising position. Now, we're not talking about a flat tire where you don't know what's going on. We're talking about you walking into a situation where a person has said, do not go. And he's relying on you and trusting in you and thinking that I have influence and they're going to respect what I say because I've shown them and I've proven to them over the years, I'm telling you and I'm talking to you out of, your best interest. And I don't want you to do that, right? To keep you safe. And then you step into multiple areas where you're not safe. It makes it very difficult for the person to help you out. And so bringing it back to this situation, hopefully it's a little less dangerous, I will say, than that situation. But the mindset might still be the same. You're expecting a man, whatever it is, to show up for you in every single situation, however it goes. But then you on the back end want to give him encouragement. You on the back end want to say, oh, honey, you can do it. Kiss on the cheek, hug, a little card, maybe if you're feeling like going the extra mile, maybe buy a mistake dinner or cook a mistake dinner. If you feel like going the extra mile, fantastic, right? But that's about the scope. That's about the limit of a woman in many instances, her support for a man. They're not going to spend money on a man. They're not going to do a lot of things, right? And a lot of things they want to be in their control. It's like, well, I had to move it into my apartment with me. I get it, but that is your apartment. And it's going to be how you want it, exactly how you want it. So you can control it. It's like, well, I have a daughter. So therefore, I'm not going to be moving it into any man's house. I got to be able, you're not going to put him on the lease. So if you feel like he's not doing anything that you want him to do, he's not doing the things, you're going to kick that man out. And that man didn't come in and provide and start paying rent, started paying bills, started helping out a lot because you said you were looking for a provider. He didn't start paying that stuff, paid your rent 2, 3, 4, 5 months. And then you're like, yeah, well, I'm not giving any of that back because of X, Y, and Z. Women do that. They allow you to pay for a whole bunch of stuff, but then when it's over, they don't want to reimburse you. But then if it were the other way around, what's that woman's name where she flew all the way to Miami when she was not supposed to? And she went and started ordering $600 caviar and some other stuff and ended up running $1,000 tab up on the dude. And then when the man said, no, I'm not doing this, and he walked out, she wanted to get on the internet and blast him. And people were around him, women and men, talking about, no, you were wrong for this. But instead, he sent her the money back and said, you know what? It's not about the money. It's about the principle. I'm going to give you your little $1,000 back, but you're not going to play me like that. Right? They expect the man to make them whole. That's how some of you ladies are moving out here. So, like I said, once again, I would love to hear his perspective on it because I feel like there is context missing, even though it's likely a lot of your complaints are valid. That's just my opinion.